Welcome to another episode of Bird Gang Nation Sports Talk. I'm your host, Bird Gang 31. And today we have an amazing host here from Sports and Stilettos, Miss BREZZY. How you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing blessed, man. I can't complain, can't complain. Another season's about to get started. I've been hyped up today, had some lives. Now I'm here with you, ready to wrap it up about the Eagles. So before we get started, I want to go ahead and give people a background for, what you do and where you're from.
I'm from Philly. I started the Sports and Stilettos podcast about 3 years ago now. Just something, that I love to do. Hobby. I love talking sports. I love talking football with people. And, it was time to kind of, I guess, get my voice out there. So started Sports and Stilettos and never looked back. And here we are, year three, the golden year. Three is my favorite number as well. So
Nice, nice, nice. Always a Bird fan.
yes,
All
yes,
right.
always.
All right. Well, let's jump into it, man. How you feeling about the team this year?
I think they're going to be pretty good. I think that what we underestimate, and this comes from trauma because Eagles fans have been through a lot of trauma lately.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think with this new coaching staff and these younger players, I think people are kind of like, oh, it's rebuilding, we're rebuilding, so we're only going to win 4 or 5 games. No,
Mm-hmm.
no. My optimism is double-digit wins this year.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's very, very possible. As long as they play the way that we know they can play and the way that they know that they can play, I'm thinking like maybe 13 wins this year.
There you go. I finally got a guest on the same level as me. I was saying 12-5 before we got Mr. Nelson, but now we got Nelson. I bumped us up a game 2 to 13-4. That's exactly what. And that, like you said, 10 wins, bare minimum. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the lowest I'll accept. Like I was telling people before, like a year and a half, 2 years ago when we went 9-7. Everybody was like, "Oh, that was a down year." Before last year, that was a really down year. And I'm like, "How you can say 9-7 is a down year?" And just because we had this 4 game winning season last year, that if we got 8, it's a good year. It's an encouraging year because a lot of people out there are saying 8 and 9 wins. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? You got a race last year. That was like, that was
Last
not
year,
a
last
football
year does
team.
not exist to me.
Yeah,
Okay,
it
it does not
was
exist at all.
fake.
Erase from my memory. I'm done.
So I always, like I said, I think our team got better from the year before when we were 9-7. So ain't no reason why we cannot be, double digits this year. We in
No.
7 games, Jalen Hurts losing more than 7 games. That don't even sound right.
Yeah, him losing it all is a little skeptical to me because I feel like the way that he's conducted himself since he came to Philadelphia,
Mm-hmm.
and how I mean, from the reports and stuff, he's been commanding training camp.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's all around what you want in a leader, and especially what you want in your QB1 ahead of a season. So I have no like issues or anything like that, thinking that he's going to not do everything that he can to win a game.
Oh yeah, firmly agree. It's Hurt season. I got him as being a dark horse MVP candidate this year. No one's going to expect it, but we got enough talent, but all the skill positions to make sure that
Mhm.
he can do that. He don't have to be all world. He just got to get the players the ball.
Yep.
So how do you feel about the Carson Wentz era and how it ended in Philly? And how do you feel about Carson being hurt, stabbing us back again, taking away our first round pick? You tell me how you feel about that one.
Well, I I loved the pick. When we got him, I loved it. I'm like, yo, this guy he's gonna be nice. He's gonna be really nice. The surprise start to the season in 2016. The he had 1 week to prepare for the season opener kind of thing. Um, I thought he handled everything well given what he had to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Bouncing back, 13-win season, um, getting us to where we needed to be, and I cried when he got hurt in LA.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh my God, like there goes our season. Like we're probably done now. Um, but again, I feel like every winning team, you need certain pieces to come together and be fluid in order to take the next step. And I feel like in 2017, everything clicked.
Mm-hmm.
Everything just clicked for us. The coaching staff, the medical staff, the players, everything just clicked. And the downside, and I think that I don't want to call it childish, but maybe a little bit immature,
Mm-hmm.
the way that things were handled when he left. Like he didn't talk to any media, like he just kind of like shunned everybody. And it's like, well, we didn't do this. You know
Right.
what I mean? And it sucks that like our O line was changing every week. You know, everybody was injured. Like it sucks that that happened. But great quarterbacks, they make a way out of no way,
Mm-hmm.
or they try. And I felt like after a certain point, he just kind of gave up because he was just like, well, we're not winning anything. I can't see past, you know, the two people in front of me, like that kind of thing. And I felt like that he gave up. So him going to Indianapolis, fine, cool, get reunited with Frank Reich. But hearing that he got injured the second day of camp, I was like, well, our first round pick is gone,
Mm-hmm.
because I highly doubt that he is going to play 70% of the snaps. I highly doubt it. And it came out that he's actually going to get the foot surgery instead of trying to rehab it,
Mm-hmm.
which Philadelphia fans know you always elect to get the surgery when you can get the surgery rather than try to rehab and then get the surgery later. We saw the same thing with Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm over it. I muted Carson Wentz on Twitter. So I just I can't. I can't.
No more
I'm done.
wins. No more wins.
Yeah, I'm done. You
But I
know,
said,
he did great for the city, but I'm over it.
yeah. And him getting hurt actually could be a benefit for us, because I see our team having a lot of wins. If Carson would have played, I would have thought that he would get a lot of wins in the Indy. So that would have been two really high first round picks. And depending the way Miami look right now with Tua and Waddle over there in Miami, they look like they're going to win some games too. So that would have been like three high first round picks. So I see us still getting our high first round picks, maybe Miami. But if Carson can't play for 12 weeks, that's going to be a couple of 3-4 games he's going to miss, and he might even need some more time to get back acclimated. So they could lose some games this year, and we might be able to get lucky and get a lower round pick. You know what I'm saying? Like, could it be a low second as opposed to a high second? I mean, a high
Right.
first, which isn't that big of a drop. So, yeah, like I said, I am definitely over Carson too. We're definitely moving on to this Hurts season. How do you feel about Ertz being back with the team?
Ertz was on my ish list. We'll say that. Last season, again, I felt like he just kind of gave up. You know, whatever he has going on outside off the field, deal with that off the field. Don't bring it into games. Don't let it affect you physically and the way that you play and your mentality and all of that, because you still have a team around you that wants to win games.
Mm-hmm.
And again, another player that I felt like just kind of gave up after a while. Um, it's nice to see that he's back because he's the veteran in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I have to see Ertz do good things for me to get back on the good
Back on
side.
first train, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, apparently he had a pretty decent camp so far. So we'll see if that translates to actual games and him staying this consistent for the entire season.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I've heard he's been doing all right back there. Tomorrow the Pats go on. So, what position battles are you looking forward to watching this training camp? Yeah.
I really, okay, so I'll give you three positions that I'm looking forward to. Hey Puga. Um, so defensive end, we've heard a lot of good things about Derek Barnett and Josh Sweat just like having their way with this offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that if we have just a rotation of those two on the
Mm-hmm.
outside, like it's going to be a problem for these quarterbacks and these running backs come game time because Josh Sweat is hungry.
Mm-hmm.
I think he has something to prove. And Derek Barnett has a chip on his shoulder because these last few years, you've got him out here playing, but then the extracurricular stuff after the play is called dead,
Mm-hmm.
you're costing us 15 yards, you're costing us first downs, you're costing us positions in these games.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that he needs to be more disciplined, which I think John Gannon can bring out of him. And as long as he's more disciplined, he's going to be a problem
Mm-hmm.
come this season.
Which one do you
Uh,
like better out of the two?
I'm a big Derek Barnett fan just because of how aggressive he plays. Um, but I really want to see Josh Sweat. Like I really, really want to see him out there and just like dominating and just putting people on their ass. To be honest, like that's
Yeah.
really what I want to see.
Oh yeah, definitely. Josh Sweat. I'm big on Josh Sweat. I want him to be the starter this year. I like Barnett, whatever, but you've had your time, and while you're doing your little thing, being inconsistent and being a star, Sweat's been rising up the depth chart, and Sweat definitely made a lot of noise last season. And I'm definitely, his knees healed now. I think he's about to show everybody why he should have been a first round pick in the first place.
Yep,
But
yep.
you can go ahead and continue with your list. You said you had a couple.
Left tackle, Jordan Mailata and Andre Dillard. So, we know Andre Dillard had the arm injury, shoulder injury, whatever, last year, so he was out. But Jordan Mailata dropped pounds. He's
Mm-hmm.
more lean. He's faster than he was last year, and he's been dominating at that left tackle position. And going into the season, if I had to choose between Jordan Mailata and Andre Dillard protecting Jalen Hurts, I'm going Jordan Mailata all day.
Yes.
All day. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Sorry, Andre Dillard. Like, yes, you were a first round draft pick, but you need to bite the bullet on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Give it to Jordan Mailata.
Oh yeah, Malata's definitely the starter. You know, Dillard. I didn't even like his press conference he had. Earlier. I think today it was.
Yeah.
He don't have the it factor for me. Like he's just not it. You're a first round pick. You should be more. You know, there is no competition. I'm the first round pick until proven otherwise. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm here to start. I'm here to dominate. That type of attitude for being a first round pick, big guy like him. But he's just like, yeah, me and my lot of friends, and whatever happens, happens. And no, I don't want that. This is Philadelphia, baby. We fight. Okay? It's gonna be a battle. You need to be like, hey, I'm starting to coach telling me otherwise. And he don't
Right.
have that fire in me. So I want to see Milo. Like you said, he earned it. He's bigger, faster, stronger. He's only been playing football and to be even in the same category as a first round pick, competing with a first round pick like that tells you, all you need to know right there. He did good last year. He played some good ball last year. Another off season under his belt. I think it's going to be amazing. Amazing.
Yeah. I agree. And then my third one. This is hearsay because this is all I've seen, pretty much from like just reports coming out of camp and stuff. Is the QB2 position.
Ooh, okay.
So there's been a little bit of chatter that Nick Mullins is looking really good in camp.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Flacco might be a little bit worried because you want the best person to back up your QB1.
Mm-hmm.
And if Joe Flacco is just like taking camp on the chin because he's a veteran and he's been through this a ton of times,
Mm-hmm.
that might be his downfall. Nick Mullins could come in here and just take the QB2 spot from him.
Oh yeah, I fully
But
think Mullins can do it. Especially if you look at last year, like Mullins, yeah, he didn't win that many games, but he was, he showed spark, he showed fire. He's a little bit younger. Flacco ain't really been good since the Super Bowl, and that was like 10 years ago or something like that. Like I was hoping because Flacco was like, yeah, I'm coming back home. Because he is a Philly native, so maybe that was gonna spark something in him. That maybe even hear some chatter like, "Oh, Flacco looks so good in practice." To maybe he could push Hurts for the but that ain't happening.
yeah,
It just ain't happening. Flacco is who he is. Last year on the Jets, I think he played a couple of games, looked suspect there. So I didn't really expect him to do anything with us but be the backup. And now that we got Mullins back there, I think I'm looking for him to take over that spot too. Might be a waste of $3 million, but it'd be better for the
hey,
team.
whatever. Yeah. Overall team, if I had to choose, well, obviously we're going to see, how they look in preseason, but if Nick Mullins comes out here and shows out in preseason, he might be the QB2. You never know.
I wouldn't have no problem with that.
Right.
Let him be the QB too, because you're not gonna need him this year. We don't have Carson no more. Hurts,
Right.
you seen him deadlifting that 650. He
Hmm.
ready. He in the gym. He's on the field. He's doing everything he needs to do to make sure this year there ain't no excuses.
Right.
He's in my head. He's working hard. He's leading these men, and we're going to battle. And I think we got the right man for the job. You know what I'm saying? The rent is due, as Hurts said, and he don't plan on missing no payments, man. He don't plan on
I
missing
need one of
no
those hats. Somebody
payments.
tell Jalen Hurts I need one of those hats.
Oh yeah, I seen that hat he gave Lane. That was a tight hat too. Yeah, I'm about to look up, get me one of them to add to my little hat collection back there. That'd be nice. So what about the running backs? How you like the running backs on the team?
I feel like there's a lot of them.
There is.
And I haven't seen a lot of reports with the running backs, and that might be a good thing
Mm-hmm.
because, we know Miles Sanders is going to look good in camp. We know, um, gosh, on Johnson's probably going to look good. I know there was probably like some issues with his knee or his leg or something like that, and
Mm-hmm.
kind of easing him back into camp. Um, but I mean, I don't think that there's any issues with him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Boston Scott is Boston Scott. We know what we're really going to get from him. He's like a baby Sproles.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and oh my gosh, that's only three. Um,
Yeah.
Jordan Howard.
Howard.
I completely forgot we even got him.
We got
So
Holyfield. That's another guy. I seen some
yeah,
highlights.
Holyfield. Oh my God, I
Holyfield
saw
looks.
him, watched him doing drills, and I
Yeah,
was just like, this man is huge.
huge, right?
If I see me as a linebacker, if I see him coming out of the backfield, I'm gonna pull a Nate Gary and just forget that I know how to play football because there's
Right.
no way I'm going to willfully get ran over by Holyfield. No, absolutely not.
Yeah, Holyfield looked like a monster back there. And like no one's even talking about him getting any PT. Like everybody's focused on Sanders, Gainwell, Johnson, and Howard. I'm like,
And
what about
Gainwell, yes.
yeah,
My God.
the
See,
Russ?
yeah, there's too
Yeah,
many.
he
There's
could
too many.
definitely
Yeah.
get some PT this year. He definitely getting that ball this year, baby. Gainwell's a beast,
Yeah.
But like they're forgetting about Huntley, they're forgetting about Holyfield. No one's even talking about Killings. I heard he even moved to receiver, but then when you talk about the receivers, you don't hear him talk his name over there either. So it's like I want to see Killings maybe do some punt return or some kickoff return or something like that. The boy was fast, lightning speed. So we see what happened with these guys. Like right now, my depth chart would go, Miles Sanders, carry on backing him up, and then third string would be Gamewell. And then it's going to be a fight for that four spot because I only see them really carrying four. Not saying one of them might not be on the practice squad, but four, that's going to be a lot of running backs. It's considering Jalen runs the ball too. So that's some
Yeah.
carries away from backs. I want to see Miles be the feature back that we know he can be. You know what I'm saying? I want to see him break 1,000 yards this season on both. He can do a
I think
thousand.
he will. Honestly, I really think that Miles Sanders is going to take a crazy leap forward, and he's probably going to get that 1,000 yard season.
Oh yeah, I see him like he said. With 17 games, why not even? you know, shoot for 2,000 yards, breaking the all-time single season record. I think last year we did a lot of, back by committee stuff the last couple of years even, and I was really looking, even though our season went downhill tough last year, I was looking for Miles to really break out last year. Like, I'm a huge Miles fan, and I thought that was going to be the year he breaks out, shows the whole league that he is a number one back and he can, get over 1,000, like 1,500 yards. And then what happens? He didn't get the carry. He didn't get the ball. We threw the ball 60 times a game, man. Like, who does that? I was like, how are you going to throw to set up the pass? I mean, pass to set up the pass. You got to run to set up the pass, Dougie. Why you pass, 50 carries. He'll run an 80-yard run.
It's because Doug got scared. You're in the second quarter of games. You're down 21 points. You got to throw the ball. And that's panic in a head coach like that. It never works out for the players. Because either your quarterback is going to get smacked because he's holding the ball too long, which we saw.
Yeah.
And your running back isn't getting enough touches to do anything. So I'm happy that we have a fresh, literally like a fresh slate when it comes to this season.
Oh, yeah.
You know? So, and I feel like Nick Sirianni is a big players coach, so he's going to listen to his guys when they say, coach, maybe we should do it this way instead of that way, or whatever the case is. So I'm looking forward to seeing that in preseason and the regular season.
How do you like the coaching staff in general? Like, we haven't talked about that. How do you like everybody's energy?
I'm excited. I was a little worried. I'm not gonna lie. I was a little worried when Nick Sirianni first had his introductory press conference, because I'm like, what the hell did we just do? Like we're hiring people off the street. Like I was scared. And then you see him interact with players. You see him in mini camp. You know what I mean? His strong point is being on the field with these players, coaching them up, talking to them, very hands-on. And he's very vocal. From what I've heard, he's very vocal when it comes to doing things right and doing it right the first time. I love that in a head coach. I love it. And then, you got your defensive coach in JG.
JG in the house. Yeah.
I think his whole philosophy of players playing more than one position, that makes me so excited, because I'm like, if I see Fletcher Cox coming off the outside, like I'm scared. You know what I mean? So giving these players the opportunity to be versatile, to be more flexible in their play, to give position depth, because you have more than one person or more than two people to play a certain position. And then switching it up between 3-4 and a 4-3 defense, like I am 1,000% on board.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. Please hit that like, keep them coming. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed to my channel. Check her podcast out, Sports and Stiletto. This girl is smart. She knows her football, Let's see here. We got another one. He says, Lugo says, offensive line is the key to it all. Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. The offensive line. What do you rate our offensive line? Do you think it's top 5, top 10, top 15? What would you give it? Healthy.
If everyone is healthy, I would give them like top 10. I think they can easily get into the top 10. Top 8, maybe. But I feel like the top 8 comes with like making sure that Jalen Hurts isn't getting sacked, making sure that you're not losing yardage in the backfield. All positive gains, So as long as they can cover all of that, I mean, there's no reason why they can't be a top offensive line.
Yeah. So you said top 10?
Yeah, top 10, top 8 maybe, but definitely top 10.
And what people don't realize, even with Hurts' game, is he was playing with the B team last year. The 4 games, I call it the B team. He was playing with the B squad. Maybe even the C squad in some positions, because we had Driscoll get hurt, so that he was already a backup. His backup came in, and he still broke records the first two games. Any rookie in 70 years never ran for over 100 per game or even passed for 500 yards like that. So that alone in itself, shows that he's a stud. And what are you guys gonna do now? We have, when Lane's there and Brooks is there and Kelsey, they're all there together. We win. 80% of all
Yeah.
our games. And now Mailata's the beast on the left side. Sam Mala's been holding his own. What do you think about
Listen,
Landon Dickerson? Do you think we should redshirt Landon, or do you want to see Landon play sometime this year?
I don't want to see Landon play this year. That's my personal opinion. I feel like they should not rush him back from this injury. There's no reason to play him this year. I mean, unless the offensive line goes down in shambles, there's no reason to play Dickerson this year.
No reason. You're not even like week 7, week 8. Saying Mala doing all right, but Landon, once he gets in, I think he's a generational talent. You know what I'm saying? Once he's completely healthy, I watched him here in Alabama. That boy is a road grader.
Yeah, yeah,
So
he
we
is.
can get him in right next to Kelsey. Him, Mailata be two mountains and have the same on both sides. Now you're talking about
Yeah. I'm just gun shy with offensive line players getting hurt and rushing back and getting hurt again. And it's like, now we're SOL again. So I feel like as long as they don't rush him back, I don't mind seeing him like late in the year once we've already secured our playoff spot and all of that. Sure, put him in next to Kelsey, whatever, fine. But as far as getting him in like week 6, week 7, I don't know. I'm scared about that.
So since you said you want him to wait, right? Are you saying that because you think like everybody thinks that Kelsey's done after this year, or
I
do you
do
want
think Kelsey's going to retire after this year. I thought he was going to retire before this year, but he signed another deal, whatever. But I don't
if
know.
Kelsey does retire, do you want Landon to play center, or do you think we should let Sam Mala move over and let Landon play guard because of athleticism and size?
I need an athletic center.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's Sayamalu, fine. I don't mind him moving over and Dickerson playing guard, but I need my center to be athletic. Like you see Jason Kelsey down the field 15 yards on a running play, and it's like there's really no other center that really is athletic as he is. So I need whoever comes in after him, I need them to give me the same thing that Jason Kelsey gave me for all of these years that he was here.
Right.
I don't need any fall off. Like I want it to be, that's Dickerson. Oh, that's Sayamalu down there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I want it to be like that because I want to be like, oh, Jason Kelsey doesn't play here anymore. Who is that?
Exactly.
Like that's what I want.
It'd be a fresh air to see another big body center in the middle. We haven't had that on our line for a while because Kelsey's been here for a while. You got to probably go back to I think it's Jamal Brown time. The last time that we had one of those big guys in the middle like that. How you like our D line? Besides Sweat and the Barnett, what about Fletcher Cox? Do you think it's almost the end of Fletcher's road, or do you want to see him keep playing with Philly?
I think he can still play. I think that the rotation has helped him a lot. He's not playing as many snaps. He's getting the rest that he needs and all of that, and he's staying, in game mode, which is good. I don't know how much longer he'll be here, but I mean, I hope that we get to see another Super Bowl with him. So maybe within 1 or 3 years, maybe, and then maybe after that, it's like, okay, we got to get somebody who's a little bit younger.
Would you be
if we start seeing a fall off?
would you be hurt or mad if, because people are comparing them to Aaron Donald, obviously, because they are the top two of the top ones there. But everybody's saying, Aaron gets triple and double team all the time, but he's still putting up all these sacks. You know what I'm saying? And then the only argument is, Fletch put the pressure on him, and he's a better run stopper. But I'm always like, I still think making $20 million a year, that's quarterback money. And if you're making that quarterback money, you need to get those sacks too. So,
Well, if you're the quarterback of the defense, I mean, it kind of makes sense paying $20 million a year.
so you'll feel good. Just
But
keep letting them play it out. Because we got Milton Williams, who even Fletch said yesterday was a beast. My
mm,
boy from USC, because I am a Trojan fan. Marlon Tui. I ain't gonna mess up his name like that on national TV, but you know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
he's a beast too. So I don't know. I think if Fletch doesn't have a Pro Bowl year, I wouldn't be 100% opposed to selling while he's high, because you don't want him to get to the point like JPP run out all your years. JPP was just collecting the check at the last at the end there.
don't even don't even get me started on him because mm-mm,
Mm-mm. Don't
mm-mm,
go there.
mm-mm.
And what about our linebacker? We'll move on from there. What about our linebackers? You hear Davion Taylor's looking really good out there.
Yes,
Are you?
that is a name that I really am happy to hear because I feel like he I feel like he can really take a big leap forward this year just because of how John Gannon wants to run the defense and having people play in multiple positions. And I think that he's one of those players that we'll see kind of all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And um, I'm very, very happy that he's out there making strides in camp and really showing out because he needs to. He needs
Mm-hmm.
to.
Oh yeah, and it took him. He's another one where it took a minute. He had to get used to the game. He didn't get to play that much in college, so now
Right.
you got your C what they call them C shoes on or whatever you want to call them, say C fins in, and I'm ready to see him play. Like everybody knew he was very athletic.
Yep.
He's fast, he's talented, he can cover. And then we got Wilson back there. I think our whole defense as a whole is a huge upgrade.
Oh
Nelson
yeah.
helped cornerbacks. Even though, like I said, I would have rolled with McPherson. If we never signed
Yeah.
Nelson, like I said, I was still at 12-5 before Nelson even came to the team. I wanted Howard. I was like, forget Nelson, give me Howard. Cause that's a beast right there. You know what I'm saying? When the last time you seen a guy get over 10 picks, in the season? Like
Very true.
that's
Very true.
ridiculous. And I didn't care what money he wanted. We could restructure. We just restructured Lane Johnson today and
I
Barnett's
feel like Lane
contract.
Johnson restructures his contract every year to save cap space.
Mm-hmm.
So it's that his is no surprise to me at all.
Well, that's another one too. Lane. Do you feel like if Lane gets hurt again this year, are you more towards keeping him or letting
Oh,
one of these young? Do you think he's the piece that can be moved? Or you want to? Are these just so good of Eagle players that you just want to see them ride out their whole rest of their career wearing that midnight green?
look, okay. So I never want to see great players leave the Eagles. I never do. I want them to stay here. I want them to play here for 10 to 15 years, and I want them to retire as Eagles. Like, that is my dream. But, obviously it doesn't happen that way. But I feel like if Lane Johnson gets hurt again, or even Brandon Brooks for that matter, if either one of them get hurt again, it might be time to hang it up. It might. I have more faith in Lane Johnson staying healthy than I do Brandon Brooks. But it goes both ways for them, for me.
But do you think this year, if one of those guys do go down, do you like the depth behind us? We got Driscoll coming back. He played good until he got hurt last year. You got Toth back there who played good. Herbert, but I heard he just got hurt in training camp. I don't know how bad it is or whatever.
Yeah.
But these are some nice young pieces that last year they were rookies, so that's why it sucked so bad to have them come in
Right.
as rookies. But now they got some time behind their belt, under their belt. So maybe, it won't be so bad if one or two. We don't need all of them going down again.
Right, right.
That'd be
Yeah.
catastrophic for anybody. But one or two of them, I feel like on and pretty much every position except for maybe cornerback still. Like, because McPherson, I think this gives him a chance to learn and grow.
Hmm.
And Maddox, if he can win that spot, I don't know if Maddox is going to win the slot or not. Because Josiah
I think
Scott
he
is
is.
good.
I think he is. I feel like
Oh,
he's from what I've seen, like report wise from camp, he's been like the one that's been able to keep up with these receivers. You keep seeing that Nelson gets burnt on a 40-yard pass for a touchdown, or you know, I don't want to say Slay specifically, but like, all of these other people are getting burnt on the back end, or burnt over the top, or whatever the case is. They're falling for the double move and this, that, and the third. If Maddox can stay solid in the slot, I don't think there's anybody that's going to take it away from him.
you don't think Josiah can do it? We picked him up from Jacksonville. He is pretty talented at that slot position.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know. I'll say this: it's Maddox's position to lose.
Okay,
We'll
I
say
like
that.
it. I
We'll
like
say
that. Boy, JC said, "Where do you rank our linebackers in the division?"
that. Dead last? You kidding me?
What?
I'm joking,
Uh,
but the Eagles,
you broke
the
my heart
Eagles
right there. I was
have
like, no, no.
the Eagles do not prioritize the linebacker position at all. The last time that I could stand watching a linebacker play, minus what's his face from last year? Oh my God.
Singleton.
Yes, minus Singleton from last year was like Michael Kendricks, and when he was good, when he was solid, Michael
Mm-hmm.
Kendricks, I enjoyed watching him play. And oh my God, who was the other one?
Hicks, Jordan Hicks.
Jordan Hicks. Yes,
Nigel
Jordan
Bradham
Hicks.
was good too.
I hated the way that Nigel Bradham ran. I don't know what it is. He just it looked weird to me. So every time he had a pick, or he like it was just weird. So yes, good player, but he ran funny to me. But
Classic. But I think we have probably the second best linebacking core in the division. The Giants, they just have Martinez. That's their big guy. But last year we didn't. But picking up Wilson had an awesome year last year. You know what I'm saying? Like, he
yeah,
led all linebackers. He's the only linebacker last year that had 3 sacks and 3 interceptions. He had over 100 and 20, 50 tackles last year.
mm-hmm.
So he was one of the best linebackers in the league when Barr and Kendricks got hurt over there in Minnesota, and we brought him to our roster. Then you have Singleton, who balled out for us last year. You know what I'm saying? He was the only guy really on our linebacking core, so of course he had to ball out. But
Yeah,
putting those two guys together, and then looking at Davion Taylor, because I don't even think we're going to run too many 3 linebacker sets this year. So Davion and Wilson, that's a nice little linebacking core. And then who else? Washington. I don't really know that. I can't even tell you the Washington linebackers' names. And the Cowgirls, it don't even matter who they got
yeah,
on defense. They suck. Straight
yeah.
up. They can have
So
all world.
right.
They're the paper champs. They can have all the top names in the world, but they suck. Kayvon Wallace, that's a good one. Kayvon Wallace will step up.
Kayvon was my absolute favorite coming out of the draft last year.
Was it?
I love Kayvon Wallace. I love him. And from what I've seen, with McLeod being out or resting the other day during practice, they said he showed out, which is great. Like, I wanna see him in that rotation come the
Mm-hmm.
regular season. Like, I think he needs to be in that rotation.
Yeah, he was highly touted, coming out of college. Everybody thought he was going to be a star last year. He did,
Yeah,
ran his mouth like he was a star last year, but the play didn't
yeah,
really back it up. Even though he was put in I think that wasn't his natural position. I think they
right,
played him at free
right,
when he should be a strong. So,
yeah,
like, he was out of position last year. And plus, our coaches didn't teach nobody last year. They
yeah.
weren't teaching
Well,
nobody
courtesy of Jim
nothing.
Schwartz
They're
and
like, you
the I
playing
don't
this
want to
defense?
blitz or do anything normal for
Mhm.
a defense.
Yeah, they're like, you playing our offense, you playing our defense. If you can't play it, I'll put somebody else in that's going to play it. And that's not how you
Right.
teach people. JC says McPherson will win the slot position. That would be awesome too if he does, because I heard that he was a scrappy little guy there. You know,
Yeah.
Let's see. I feel like LG and Brooks will retire as Eagles, and I feel will be fine with the O line starters. They get hurt. Yeah, we said that. Good one, good one. Let's see. Trying to see what else up in this chat. I'm not a Maddox fan.
Eh,
Chief Dallas got best linebacker. Here you go. Nah, Chief Dallas got the best linebacker. Then they Philly. But that's what I said. They were second. I didn't. I don't give them. I don't give the Cowgirls credit on air. I just said the Eagles were second. I wasn't gonna say, oh, the Cowgirls got the best linebacking core. Like, you ain't gonna hear that come out of my mouth. But
are we talking about linebacker core this year or linebacker
yeah, this
core?
year, right
Oh,
now,
okay. Because I
this
was
year,
getting ready to say, last time I checked, didn't they get burnt like toast last year?
right?
That defense got ran
All over.
all over by teams that were worse than we were. So
Yes,
I agree.
that's another thing. I think that that's where they messed up this offseason. All this hate, like Jalen being 40 overall in quarterbacks when there's only 32 starters. You know what I'm saying? Like that's highly disrespectful. You're saying backups are better than this guy who was the
Backups
Heisman.
and college rookies,
Yeah, and this guy,
fresh off the draft board, like are better
yeah,
than
like
Jalen
the best in
Hurts.
college. His senior year was the best. You know, he had better stats than Joe Burrows that year. You know what I'm saying? Last year he breaks records that haven't been broken in 70 years, and you're still saying that newbies are coming in better than him, and the backups of what 8 other teams are better than him. You know, you got Miles Sanders, 27. Really, I think Miles Sanders is a top 5 back. You know, he didn't get the opportunity to.
I think he can certainly get there as long as he has the right people around him. Absolutely.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely.
Right? I think he's top 5 back. You know, he didn't get the opportunities last year that he needed because we were passing so much. You know, Mr. Smith, Heisman Trophy winner. No one has won a Heisman Trophy at the receiver position for years, decades. You know, so for you to even think that any other receiver is better than this guy coming out, obviously everybody know he's skinny. He know he's skinny. He been skinny his whole life. You know what I'm saying? Like that ain't never stopped him from balling out. When Waddle went down last year and he became the #1 receiver, you seen what he did. You don't think they were bracket covering him? You don't think they were double teaming him? He still
Yep.
balled out. He broke the for championship record. You know, he had 3 tubs in the first half. So to think that he can't do it on this level, but you give praises to guys like Jamar Chase and Jefferson. None of them won the Heisman. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Like
Yep.
they didn't win
Yep.
no Heisman last year. And even if you look at Chase, he sat out last year. His year before wasn't even as good as Devontae's last year. So I think the Slim Reaper is going to tear it up this year. Definitely going to be rookie of the year for sure. What up, Coach? One question: do you think J Jaw makes the team? Oh yeah, here we go. Everybody wants to hear about the J Jaw. Everybody needs the J Jaw opinion. What? How do you feel about J Jaw? Are you tired of seeing J Jaw like the rest of us, or
Listen,
new scheme, new opportunity, new chance to shine?
I think respectively, I have to give him a chance just because we're under new coaching this year. I have heard that he's been doing well in camp, but it needs to translate to games for me. Like there are certain players that I don't care what they do in camp. If you can't do it in a game, it does not matter.
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote J Jaw off 2 years ago. Like
Right?
I was done. Like this man doesn't dress for 80% of the games. And when
Mm-hmm.
he does dress, you don't notice that he's even out in the field making any kind of like effort or nothing. So listen, if he makes the team, fine. He needs to show improve when he gets on the field on Sundays. Because other than that, I don't know who this man is.
Yeah, and he was supposed to be brought in to be the next Alshon, that jump ball guy, and we ain't been jumping to catch no ball. You
Light
know,
skin stuff. That's what that is.
light
Light
skin
skin
stuff.
stuff.
Right? They too pretty for that. They too pretty for
Yeah.
that. Yeah, man. So overall, our team looks good. Do you think we are going to sweep every team in the division, but set the Cowboys? Because by the time we make it to the Cowboys, we're probably going to rest some starters. So that's the only reason why they're not going to get swept too. That's my take. What do you think is going to happen?
Honestly, I think the team that might give us, well, no, not even that. I think they sweep the division. Whatever. I think
Sweep
they
them
sweep the
all.
division. All of
All of them.
them. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
They're all getting swept. You heard it first, baby. The division's getting swept this year. If you had to pick a
If
team,
if
who are
we
you
had to
most worried
split,
about?
if we had to split between one team in the division, it would probably be the Redskins.
Ooh.
I think the Redskins would give us the most issue on defense, and that's because of Chase Young. Chase Young is a dog, and it translated very well from college to the NFL, as we saw last year. And I think he continues on that warpath, and he remains the dog that we saw in college. And I think that could be a little bit much for us in one of these two games that we play against them.
Well, my deal with them is, yes, they do have an awesome D line from front to, top to bottom. All four of those guys, the two Alabama boys, Chase. But last I checked, Kerrigan had the same amount of sacks and less snaps last year than our boy Chase. And that week 17 game, Hurt scored 2 touchdowns on them before half, and we could have
Mhm.
came back and won if we didn't pull them out. So that's the only reason why I'm not scared of, no matter how good they are. It only would matter how Fitzmagic is playing. Is he on his streak of good,
Listen,
or if he's on his streak of bad? Because he can't play a whole season good. We already know that. Now, if he's on the streak of good, then yes, it's definitely possible them winning. But
Fitzpatrick does not scare me unless he does some like weirdo trick plays in the end zone again. Like, but other than that, I don't care.
you don't care. It's over.
No,
How you
no.
like Danny
Because
food stamps? That's my
listen,
nickname.
we got a faster linebacker core now. So he can't be chucking up those 65-yard runs no more. No, no, no,
Right.
no. No, no, no. We're not doing that again. No. So I think this revamped defense, um, I think they get the job done this year. I really do. I really do.
That's the reason
And
why
I
I
hope that
think.
they go back to that top three defensive
Oh yeah,
front.
yeah. I think we're gonna be top three on both categories, offense and defense. Because my big theory on it is this: new coach, right? New scheme. Everybody's expecting to see the old Eagles. He has the opportunity to make very, aggressive playbook that can be catered to the players we have. We have a lot of weapons. I don't see, like, imagine lining up Rager, Watkins, Smith. Do you have in the backfield Miles Sanders and Gainwell? Like, you don't have that many players on your defense that's that fast to contain all of them at one time.
Right.
I don't even know a team that got three good fast cornerbacks. They might have a good one that might be a vet, but he might be that slow vet. You know,
Mhm.
that speed that we got on offense is electric. You know, so
Let's
I
just
don't see
hope
any.
that everybody stays healthy because they said, "Oh, we drafted a track team last year and half those players didn't even play."
But they did play, but the coaches kept the young guys from playing. Remember, they wanted to make sure that Deshaun was in. They wanted to make sure that um um Alshon was playing, and Alshon was slow as hell last year. Do you agree? Like when Fogan was lighting up the league, best receiver for those 4 games, and what Alshon got ready, healthy again. What they do? Put him in the game and stop the whole progression of that.
The whole decision to even keep Alshon or even extend him in the middle of the 2017 season pissed me off. There was no reason at all for the Eagles to extend someone that they just signed for another 3 or 4 years. There was
Right?
no reason for that. And then you have him going under shoulder surgery, and then he's got another issue with the foot and or the ankle or whatever it was. And it's like certain players are just not the same after they get hurt.
Mm-mm.
Alshon's not the same. I wish Deshaun Jackson the best. He's one of my absolute favorite Eagles ever.
Mm-hmm.
But he is not the same after injury.
No.
I feel like he plays a little bit more safe
Mm-hmm.
than anything.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that's a detriment to the team.
Yeah. And last year, those old guys playing was definitely a detriment. Like we said, Ertz didn't even play his best last year. You should have gave the ball to
Yeah.
Goddard more. You should have gave the ball more to Quez Watkins, more to fold him some more last year. Hell, at the end of the season, you definitely should have targeted Rager even more. He showed you he could score touchdowns and the punt return. He had a couple of nice plays with Hurts. Like I said, when Hurts got in, he electrified that whole offense.
Right.
But the scary thing, like I was talking to before, the scary thing is that defense. I love JG saying he's going to make it, you know, like a switchblade. 1 minute you might see 3-4. Next minute's gonna be 4-3. Next minute's gonna be, dime, nickel. He goes in the middle of the game, in the middle of the quarterback's cadence, you might see him pop out. We're gonna be blitzing again. We haven't blitzed since Jim Johnson, it seemed like. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna be blitzing again. So we got a lot of talent and speed on the defensive side. Harrison, no one's really giving Harris that much love coming over from Minnesota. 2 years ago, he was the best safety in football. A year, what a difference a year can't make you, all of a sudden some garbage, trash. Everybody, a lot of players had down years that COVID year. They didn't have the off seasons. They didn't have the training camps. They didn't have,
Right.
they had all these virtual meetings and stuff. So I think a little bit of everybody's game kind of, dropped down a little bit last year. But hey, it's a new season. They got the training camp now. Harris is going to be picking balls. He's a ball hawk back there. And he can lay wood. Rodney Harrison healthy is awesome. Rodney's the leader of that defense, the back end, and he liked to hit. Another guy they don't talk about too much is Jacoby Stevens. No one's talking about Stevens, and last I checked, LSU just keep cranking out awesome safeties. Even though he's gonna be a hybrid role, safety linebacker hybrid, but like people are sleeping. What are you gonna do in the middle of a game when you prepare for 4-3 and we're playing 3-4? When you prepare for 3-4, we're playing
And
4.
listen, that's
What are
fine
you
with
gonna do?
me. I am 1000% on board with all the surprises and the switch up. I'm on board with all of it. Okay, I'm a defensive girl. I love seeing the hard hits. I love seeing helmets come off. I love seeing all of that. So getting back to that Jim Johnson defense, I'm all for it. Do what you
Yes.
gotta do, JG. Just do
Do
it.
what you gotta do, JG. JG. Well, I know I won't take up too much of your time, but we're gonna go ahead and do what I love to do, call your all-time Eagles team. We break it
Please.
down. It is from whenever your era. You can go outside your era. Just there's no wrong answers. This is your team. Don't be like trying to play the crowd or try to play anybody. This is
Oh
your
no.
team. We're building a team that's based off of your picks. So we're gonna start out with the quarterback. Who is your starter and who is backing them up?
So I think my starter is going to be Randall Cunningham.
Yeah.
I loved how he changed up that role while he played and kind of made a way for all of these very versatile mobile quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
My backup is going to be Donovan McNabb. I hate him off the field, okay? I do not like this man off the field. But he did great things for Philadelphia when he was here, and you can't just throw that away.
Right.
So Randall, QB1, Donovan, QB2.
3 running backs.
Brian Westbrook,
Ooh,
obviously, the GOAT.
the GOAT.
LaShawn McCoy,
Okay.
gotta show
Get the
Shady some
stadium on
love.
there.
Yeah, and Miles Sanders.
Ooh,
So I
yeah, I
think
like that.
that 3-man rotation right there is gonna be is wild.
Yeah,
Just
that's
thinking about the things that they have done and the things that they could do,
mm,
it's incredible.
good mix. It's a good mix. I like it.
Yeah.
Give me 2 tight ends.
So I never really paid attention to the tight end position. I'm not gonna lie, but
Okay.
my favorite tight end is Brent Selleck. So obviously he's tight end number 1 for me, and I'm gonna go Zach Ertz in his prime. So Zach Ertz of like 2 years ago, that's the Zach Ertz that I want.
And Rick Selling. Is that right?
Yes. Yep.
Nice. 4 receivers.
Obviously Harold Carmichael.
Carmichael,
Obviously.
Hall of Famer.
Yes. My boo, Deshaun Jackson, for speed. Jeremy Maclin with solid hands, and Terrell Owens without the drama and the crying and all of that stuff.
Nice. I like that core right there. They're scoring some touchdowns for sure.
Oh yeah.
Your offensive line. Who's blocking for these backs?
So I had to do a little bit of research for this one. But
Okay.
My O line is going to be at right tackle John Runyon,
Mm-hmm.
right guard Brandon Brooks,
Mm-hmm.
center is going to be Jason Kelsey.
Right.
My left guard is going to be Todd Harrimans,
Yes.
and my left tackle is going to be Trey Thomas.
Trey. Trey and Ryan. That's you. That's bookend right there.
Oh
That's
yeah.
bookend right there. I like that. I like that. Let's flip it over to the defensive line. Who you got?
All right. I told you I'm a defensive girl. Okay.
All right.
So
I'm looking for this one. This will be a bomb
my
defense laying that wood.
my right defensive end is going to be Trent Cole. My right
Brent.
defensive my right defensive tackle is going to be Fletcher Cox.
Big
Next
Cox.
to him on the left side at tackle is going to be Jerome Brown. And my left defensive end is going to be Reggie White.
That's bringing some heat right there. That's bringing
Yeah,
some
and
heat.
that's all I want. That's all I want. I don't care about nothing else. That D line, taking heads off.
Let's go. Your 3 linebackers.
3 linebackers. I'm gonna go D'Amico Ryans.
Ooh, first time.
Jeremiah.
I like
Yeah,
it.
I was a big D'Amico Ryans fan. I really
Yeah,
was.
good.
Jeremiah Trotter
Oh, yeah.
and Jordan Hicks.
Ooh, I think that might be the first time Hicks makes the list, too. Hicks was a beast. I love it. Let's go
Yes.
with 3 cornerbacks.
My all-time favorite, Sante Samuel. I can't leave him off of this list. That is my dog. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I love Sante Samuel. Troy Vincent
Mm-hmm.
and Darius Slay.
And big play Slay make the list. I like it.
Yep.
I like it. This was always 2, but if you can, give me 3 safeties because usually the first one everybody picks.
Well, yeah.
Because it's hard not to. So if you can give me 3, give me 3.
Well, I only have 2.
Okay.
But obviously Brian Dawkins,
Mm-hmm.
greatest ever to me, at least.
Oh, he is.
Brian Dawkins, obviously, and then I'm gonna go with Malcolm Jenkins.
Mm-hmm.
I think that them two together, because of the way that they play and how they communicate with their defensive oh my god, with the other defensive players, it's incredible.
Yeah.
It's
You got
incredible.
the enforcer and then Mr. Iron Man over there that didn't miss a game at all. And just the captain, putting everybody in position, teaching them on the field, the coach in the field. I was actually kind of mad when Jenkins left. I understood it, but I was kind of mad too. Like, ain't nobody on our team played that many games. No one.
Yeah.
Everybody was missing games, and Jenkins don't want not. You don't want to give the guy the money and keep him on there. But hey, that's an impressive list. You got a kicker.
Kicker. What is his name? Oh my god.
David Akers? Or is
yes. David Akers. All day. That is the only leg that I trust. The only one.
The only one. Akers was the man.
Everybody else can kick rocks. David Akers, 1000% my kicker.
That is so awesome. Well, it was a blessing having you on the show. You definitely know your sports and you know your birds. I like it. I like it a lot. Anytime you want to come back to the show, just let me know. I would love to have you on. Go ahead and give everybody, a breakdown where they can find you at, where they can check out your podcast at.
You can find me on Twitter at yourhost_BREZZY. I'm on there. That's probably the best way to get me. You can follow the show on Instagram at Sports and Stilettos Podcast. And you can find my podcast on any platform that you listen to your favorite podcasts on. So just search Sports and Stilettos Podcast and you'll find me there.
What up, Greentown? We just wrapping it up, but thanks for dropping in. All 12 in the comments, the 13 in the chat. Thanks for joining us today. It was an awesome show again. Like I always say, fly, Eagles, fly. And until next time on BIRDGANG Nation Sports Talk, Bird Gang 31, we out.